Instead, and thanks to Apex Hunters United, it's Will Windscreen. And I legit was laughing for 5 minutes straight. Purely, not just because of Will Windscreen, but Scott Pye's reaction.
It was funny.
I'd lost it. Windscreen sounds like a Disney Pixar Cars character.
Yeah, it sounds like he
does.
should be in Cars 3 or Cars 4.
So,
the new one.
Obviously, Frosty was in Cars 2. Is James Courtney going to be in Cars 4?
Is that his new nickname?
As Will Windscreen.
Will Windscreen.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Cooldown Room Pod. We're your hosts Daniel and Alex, and this is episode 5. And this is a really special episode because, Alex, Supercars have finally started. This, of course, is our Dunlop Sydney 500 weekend review. Alex, how are you, mate?
I'm great, and what a weekend it's been. I am tired. Lot of action. Lot of interesting stories to come out of the weekend. But it's back, and that's all that matters. And I'm happy.
That's it. I couldn't agree more. It is fantastic to have Supercars back on our screens. And even better, we started our watch-along. Our first watch-along weekend of 2026. And it was safe to say it was rather successful. If you weren't part of it, Alex is just putting his Ferrari away. If you... Wait, was that a bin?
Yes!
Okay, I was right then. So I was just making sure it wasn't something else or anything like that.
Oh, it was a basket. It wasn't a bin, but close.
Oh, fair enough. Well, you just said it was a bin.
It was funny.
Do you know what else was? Do you know what else was rubbish this weekend? Cool suits. We'll get into that. But of course, we had our watch along over the weekend. It was rather successful. Really enjoyed watching it along with you guys. And if you haven't been part of it yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can be part of it next time. But you can also check out our previous lives that we did across the weekend. But yeah, let's get straight into it. Of course, we are live now on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram for the first time ever for this year for our pods. So if you do want to be part of the podcast, like Courtney, like Bryce, like James, like Xavier here even.
Jordan.
And Jordan, yeah. And be sure to tune in every Monday night from 7:30 p.m. Adelaide time. So with that being said, let's actually get into the review itself. Alex, what was your first initial thoughts?
Mate, I think the weekend progressed. Race 1 was very, I would say quiet. Everyone was kind of like tame. I just realized I got Pooh Bear in the background. I did not set this up very well at all. Hang on. I was in a rush.
Everyone write hashtag blame Alex.
Yeah. Anyway.
You were in a rush. I was on the sim 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I had to literally call you to get off. No, back to the review. It kind of progressed as the weekend went, I feel like. Race 1 was very quiet. Everyone was a bit timid. We did see... No, that was race 2. When did Heimgarden have the engine failure?
Race 2.
Yeah, I was going to say. So then from there, it just progressed.
Yeah,
no, it was race 2. I may have meant to blank. Too much Supercars. And then race 3 was just, what the heck, action-packed. A lot happened. And, yeah, wild, crazy, wet weather. Oh, boy. It was unbelievable. But it was good fun. Also,
hashtag
Bryce.
Bring back Pooh Bear, Bryce says. Katie, how you going? I saw you jumped in a Red Bull car today. How was it?
Oh.
You look like you had fun. Looks like you've filmed some pretty cool content as well with the guys over there at Sydney. So I hope you had a good weekend. And she also says, bring the Pooh Bear in as a guest. Sim Racer says, Alex can't stream. That's accurate.
Oh, Jesus.
But yeah, no, I actually really enjoyed the race. Yeah, you're getting destroyed tonight.
I literally am. There's like 4 more blame Alexes. Far out. Give me a break.
Ooh, yeah, that's it. But well, give you a break. You're the one breaking things, mate. I'm just kidding.
As your webcam.
But, no, I enjoyed the race. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I'll give you that one. I enjoyed it. It was a really cool weekend. I'm glad that Supercars are back. Racing on Friday was a bit of a hit and miss, But like you said, it did gradually get better.
It was a warm-up.
Saturday was full of action, and then it was a warm-up. And then Saturday was epic. I really enjoyed Saturday, especially with the safety car and Di Pasquale in that restart. But Sunday is where the action and carnage happened. There was a bit of rain, and then a wheel fell off. Another wheel fell. Actually, a wheel fell off on Saturday as well.
Wheel failures.
Quite a few actually, which is concerning, and cool suit failures, which is also really concerning. But what should we start off with, Alex? Should we just progress through race by race?
I guess. Yeah. Well, like you said, the race 1 didn't have too much information in it, but one note that did come from race 1, and thank God it kind of stayed with race 2 and 3, was Blanchard Racing. I called it, man. Our previews, I had them as a B- minimum. I'm gonna paint that on my wall because I'm sticking by it, man. They are here. They were last all last year, and I think already this year they're in the 5th or 6th garage for the Grand Prix. Which, let's be honest, actually doesn't make a difference because they're not even on the main straight. Oh well. Blanchard was unbelievable. Not only was Golding a step above, what he normally is, but where the heck did Aaron Cameron, as Courtney's made a nickname, as a Kaza, Aaron Cameron, where the heck did he come from? He was legitimately top 5 the whole weekend, and he would have been top 5 in race 3 if it wasn't for one Brody Kostecki. But he got a Blanchard 2-3 in race 1. Like, that's just unreal, unbelievable. That was the biggest story from race 1, except for the strategy from Red Bull giving Finney the victory, which, let's be honest, was the only thing that did that. I guess, do you have anything else to talk about from race 1? Wasn't too much.
No, well, I think you nailed it. You nailed it on the head with Blanchard Racing. That's really the telling point of race 1 was how good they were to get, the front row lockout and qualifying for the first qualifying session of the year. To do that, that's a massive statement considering they were last in the standings last year. So to go to the last to the top straight away is pretty cool. And to answer your question as well, they're actually 7th in the team standings at the moment, heading into Albert Park. Of course, they had quite a tricky weekend after that, not by their own faults, unless James Golding's incident was their fault, then I don't know. But especially with Aaron Cameron's little spin, they result in the 7th. They could have easily been higher up, but the main thing is they're not last, so there you go. But really amazed at how much they've progressed. Obviously they were really strong in Adelaide, so to come technically 2 weekends in a row now, if you think about it, they were strong, and I'm really glad to see and really excited to see what this means moving forward for the rest of the championship. Is this just a fluke weekend, just like maybe Team 18 with Anton Di Pasquale as well? That's the problem with round 1. Because it's the first round, we can't really tell how the rest of the season's going to play out based off this weekend. But one thing we can work out is, of course, Brock Feeney. He definitely is no doubt going to be a challenge this year. In my predictions, I did say that he would be the champion. He will be looking for redemption. I'm not going to say it because the Supercar broadcast kind of milked it a lot, but about Adelaide. But now all focus on to 2026. And Katie mentioned as well, she had a chat with Will and Brock today, and apparently they're doing much better than yesterday. So very glad to hear that. It's definitely no joke, that's for sure. And again, I don't like people on the comment section, not here. Everyone here is fantastic. But Alex, the Supercars fan base can be rather interesting sometimes. You get comments saying, I'll just toughen up and stuff like that. It's serious stuff.
Well,
very serious stuff when it comes to cool suit failures and whatnot.
Well, the fact that...
But that's going a bit off topic.
Just real quick. The fact 2 drivers had to be hospitalised doesn't pose very good, or very well, I should say. Blanchard's here to stay. Brock Feeney's ready to go. I want to talk about Toyota as a whole weekend. Toyota, I had some concerns. Ryan Wood was last in testing, practice 1, and somehow didn't qualify last with qualifying. But I was very, very worried early on. But thankfully, they turned it around and managed to get... Well, actually, by the end of the weekend, we had all top 5, all Toyotas in the top 10. which was unbelievable. Even Macaulay Jones, he finished 10th, and Cam Hill 9th. I was very worried about Chaz Mostert, especially after getting disqualified in race 2 for a lack of tyre sensor. So it was literally last coming into the last race of the weekend due to that, and also the engine failure by Andre Heimgartner in race 2. And then that also led to an engine change. And then you said Ryan Wood also had an engine change, I believe.
But that was more for precautionary. That was more precautionary, though.
Well, whatever engine they put in for race 3 had more pace than race 2. That's for sure. They had good pace. So yeah, what do you think about Toyota? How did you see their first weekend, Daniel?
Honestly, if it wasn't for Sunday, I wouldn't have had high hopes for them. Like you said, they were off to a rough start. Straight up at testing, they had the least amount of laps compared to any manufacturer, any team. For comparison, teams would do, even on the short circuit, they would do about 80 or so, or 70 the next day, whereas Toyota teams would do no more than 45 or so. So considering compared to the others, it's quite low.
Yep.
I was concerned, especially having only one top 10 result on Friday, which was Andre Heimgartner. So not even the factory squad of Walkinshaw, they couldn't make it in the 10 at all. Chaz had a horrible weekend in comparison. So Sunday was a very nice result for everyone involved in Toyota, which I'm so glad to see that they did eventually get into the 10 and did actually have decent pace. They look pretty quick. They look quite racy, especially in the wet conditions. But by the way, for the track day today, the ride day, they're the only manufacturer that actually chose to sit out of the ride day today, just so they can rest. And to be honest, non-stop work, getting that car out on track, I think they deserve a little bit of some breather room.
But also, they probably want to diagnose everything as well. I'm pretty sure there'll be another answer on how it all went, how its reliability, what parts broke, what parts still remain. So you can understand that they would have to withdraw from that.
Well, that's true. Sorry, one moment. That's true because obviously, it's the first time that they properly got to see what the Toyota was like against the Camaros and Mustangs in a race scenario. We finally got to look at that, so now they can go back to the workshops, analyze and work out what went right, what went wrong, and even Supercars can do that and work on their P word, their parity. But speaking of parity, before you go into your topic, Alex, James did mention thoughts on the whole upper field using exclusively Ford. Now, I already predicted this. Lately, that the Chevs, won't be up there as much as Mustangs this year, just because, not because of the cars themselves. I think they've done a really good job making the cars as balanced as they can. But it's the teams and the drivers in those cars that are putting those cars up there.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think having Triple Eight now go there is a very, very interesting point of view to that discussion because, they've not only were they up there last year and have been the years before with the Chev, which we're going to talk about soon, Courtney, don't worry. They've just switched to a Ford, and Bob's your uncle. They win 2 out of 3 races, like nothing ever changed. So I think that's got to do with a lot of the team, though. And technically, they're still a factory team. They didn't remove that or lose that or whatever. So I don't know. I feel like that. Yes, that the Fords are up the front, and I don't think it's actually got to do with the cars themselves. I think it's just got to do with the teams and the experiences, which is basically what you said before. So, yeah, because Matt Stone Racing still had top 10 finishes. We know what happened with the Chevs. I'll just get it out of the bag. Our no Chev win has already been destroyed. Our 0 Chev for the year win prediction that we both had, basically, is gone. Thanks to Anton De Pasquale winning race 2. Which, by the way, I'm so thrilled that happened because I was getting worried for the Chev coming into the year. So I'm actually kind of glad it happened. And then where were they going with that? Erebus had a shocking weekend. There was another team. Oh my god, was it just Matt Stone Racing? Because Zach Bates qualified top 10 every race. Premier, sorry. They
had a weekend to forget.
Yeah, they did have one moment. Ojeda was actually in the top 10, and then they pitted for wets, and so did Erebus. In the last race, they were actually in the 10. Well, sorry, Erebus were in the 10. Ojeda was, I think, 13th. So they legit had top 10 finishes if they didn't pit, and they did, and that didn't work out. But yeah, most chefs did have a week to forget. But the fact they got a win and Matt Stone Racing were top 10 for the majority of the weekend, pretty good, considering we didn't give anyone a shot from Chevrolet.
No, well, that's it. But Anton, he smashed it. He really did a sensational job from start to finish on Saturday. Like, to get the pole position, to get the win, he led pretty much every single lap.
He did the whole race.
He even survived the whole safety car chaos in the pit lane. You know, he made it out of there in P1, which was crucial for him. Just got a few messages here just looking through, because there's another topic about Saturday as well that I want to talk about, and it goes on to Sunday. Max, hey guys, last night race was good. Sure was, mate. It definitely was a cracking one. Post-round dump. I heard that Macca guy said Chev would win this year. You should listen to him. Mate, I am not listening to you. We'll talk about that in the Motorsport Mosh Pit pod tomorrow. Because unfortunately, yeah, you were right and I was wrong. But the main thing is, Feven was wrong. So we'll keep that keep that in mind. One thing I want to mention. Sorry,
my favorite comment here is from Liam. Be nice to Alex. Thank you, I appreciate it. That's it.
Yeah, but also there's one that says from Liam, I agree with Daniel. So
yeah. I know that he's talking to you about it was about the Toda thing at one point. He was talking about the Toda.
He's talking about you.
Look above. He wrote, "We still love you, Alex." So thank you.
I can't see it.
Can't see that part.
I'm kidding. Sim Racer made a good point, because this another topic I want to bring up is the fact that Turn 8 started breaking apart weekend. I believe Saturday the first time it started happening. So what they did is, instead of just cancelling all the racing or delaying the support categories, they used their short layout, which they used for testing. And it goes back actually to testing, because the whole reason they used the short layout for testing on Wednesday night was because of the Turn 8 breakup. So, Alex, go for it.
Well, if anyone follows Brody Kostecki on socials, he, for the whole weekend, had his bloody Ray-Ban Meta glasses on and filmed most of the behind the scenes. On their track walk video with him, Todd Hazelwood, and Roland Gray, they were at Turn 8, and all of them predicted that it was going to break. And it did. So, look, we knew this was going to happen before the weekend started. It happened Tuesday that they announced that the test day on Wednesday was going to be on the short track. And we're like, okay, good start. Then they used it for the night on the Thursday night before the race weekend. Mad Dog, how are you? And it didn't last very long. Friday was okay, but there wasn't much running on the Friday, especially with the short race. And then it broke after, I want to say, before. It was before.
It was before qualifying. Yeah. Before any supercar even went out on track.
Yeah, so it was after one of the Super Ute races, I'm pretty sure, that did the damage. But from there, Daniel, supercars, we were thinking, oh crap, what are they going to do? They're going to use the short track? No. What are they going to do? I kind of I don't want to give them too much, faith, but I kind of congratulate Supercars on their decision. It was weird, but it worked. I can imagine for stewards it was weird. But if you don't know,
and for
spectators, especially if people were at turn 5 to 6, if you don't know, every category except for Supercars then switched to the short track for the remainder of their races and sessions, which ended up being extremely weird for all of them. But mainly, I want to say the Super U race. They finished qualifying on the main track, and then that's when it broke. So they started the race, and just went straight to the short track. No practice, not a lap of practice. Straight into a race, 20 minutes, here you go that way. But it ended up working out, and someone commented before, I think it was Katie, he said the short track was actually really cool. Bryce just said it as well. The short tracks was it was actually pretty good for the slower categories, like 86s. They were flying through the shortcut. The Utes were. I think it was a bit too fast for Super 2, but they had some great action.
To be honest, I enjoyed the Super 2 going around there. Because I didn't watch much support racing this weekend, purely because parenting, because obviously it's a bit tricky to parent when I'm watching, so but it made it work. No, I think the short track, I actually kind of dig it.
Yeah, it's fun.
It actually looks pretty cool. Yes, the grip and the tire wear is definitely not ideal, especially because obviously it's not normally used for an event like this, but I think they did a good job with it. Great decision. Yes, they, people at turn 5 and 6 probably missed out on some action, and I don't know if there was any food catering areas there as well, so maybe they had, they missed out on some earnings during that time, but it was good. I think I really enjoyed it, and obviously it didn't hinder Supercars in any way when they eventually went out.
No. Well, that's the part that I condemned Supercars for. They didn't hurt any of the Supercars action, and by accident made the support categories even better. So it's quite ironic how that turns out. But yeah.
Katie put a message about the Utes and their tire degrading, because that was actually pretty poor, I must admit. We got how many punctures did we get in one race? We got 2 or 3 or something like that.
Well, let's just say by race,
tire issues with the Utes this weekend.
Before race 2, I'm pretty sure 2 cars didn't start. So I don't want to talk about Super Utes because I think it's a bit of a dud category in terms of just your value for money. I think it's cool. It's bloody killer. Like the action you get is unbelievable. Sorry to cut you off, but like as a driver or anything, I think it's a bit risky.
Yeah, Katie, you tell her.
Katie's not agreeing with me. No, I think it's cool, tell her, Katie. And I love Super Utes, but I think from a driver perspective, it's a bit dangerous. I've lost Katie. I'm sorry.
It's okay, Katie. You still got me because I generally enjoy V8 Utes. They had a rough start. Obviously, they're never going to be as good as the old V8 Utes, the V8 Brutes. But for what they got now is really good. They need to fix that tire wear issue. But yeah, I do understand that costs have certainly increased this year, unfortunately, which is a real shame. But the cars themselves are really cool.
Yeah. Although you need a BT50.
They sound mint too. They sound mint. They've come a long way. Just go back to the V6 days. That was a rough period.
Actually, I take that back. I do like Super Utes, but those tires look ridiculously small. That I don't like. Yeah. Next topic, Daniel. I guess we're still going through races 2 and 3, so we may as well go back there. Race 2, we saw a heck of a lot of action. I'm trying to remember what actually happened.
We saw a lot of action, but we don't remember any of it.
Oh, it was just such a blur.
Basically, everything happened to Zach Bates.
That's right. That's what I wanted to say. Poor Zach Bates. Oh, no.
Do you know what you could do if you don't remember what happened? You should go back to our YouTube channel, go to the live section, and watch our watch-alongs. You're welcome.
Good idea.
Anyway,
I might actually make another reaction to the reels. Sorry, a real reaction to Zach Bates.
A reaction to the reactions of the reels.
Sorry, I've been startled because I've pissed everyone off with my Super Utes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
I don't like people not liking me. All I'm because we know one of the drivers, Sharma, left because of financials, so I don't want to see people leave and lose money.
Oh no, because again, it's a great category. That's the problem with motorsport these days. Everything is just
expensive,
way too expensive for what it is. Yeah.
Anyway, Zach Bates, I want to give him a hug after lap 8, where he lost like 12 spots. So yeah, it was a bit of a rough show. Even a wheel that came loose hit Zach Bates. Everything hit Zach Bates. He was a complete bully and a punching bag.
He was Scott Sterling, as we said.
Yeah, he was a complete punching
he was Scott
bag.
Sterling.
And yeah. It was a rough debut weekend for him, but there was actually a funny part. I think was it race 2 or race 3? I can't remember, but Frosty interviewed him on the grid.
No, that was race 3.
Okay.
Because of race 2.
Because of race 2. And it was like, you got to like not let everyone bully you this time, because you're here to race. Just because they're older doesn't mean you just because you're a rookie doesn't mean you got to let them, bash you around. So, yeah, let's hopefully he has a better weekend at the Grand Prix. Yeah, Matt Stern Racing usually have good weekends at the Grand Prix. So we'll see.
Did they get a win last year? I can't remember. I pretty much remember Brock Feeney winning majority of them, or Will Brown.
Wasn't that the year
they won 2024?
Oh, right.
When Nick Percat joined. And I remember that because I listened to the Lucky Dogs pod this morning with Nick Percat. I finally got around to watching that. By the way, they already uploaded a Sydney recap already, despite being at the ride day and all that today. I don't know if Will Brown was there directly, like taking part or not, but
didn't Cam Hill win last year?
Maybe,
because I was there.
Let me go back. I've got a goldfish memory. So
I was there. I'm pretty sure I took a photo of Cam Hill winning the race.
I reckon, because I reckon. No, it's starting to come back to me now. We posted a video or something because of you.
Yeah, I was there. I saw the podium. I was like, hang on a second. I'm pretty sure they won last year. Yeah, there you go. We got getting some responses in.
Yeah. Thanks, Simracer, for confirming. Katie, thanks for confirming as well. Will was at the ride day, but didn't do any hot laps. So that's fair enough.
Yeah, I think
he
deserves a day off.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you being here, Alex. He's still, I don't know. He's sad.
No, I appreciate Katie joining. I should shout out to On Ground Reporters. While the race was on, Bono, who one of our viewers, was at the track and was our on the ground weatherman. He was providing us with all the updates on where the rain was going, when it was coming, how bad it was getting. He did not bring an umbrella, so I assume he got drenched. But yeah, everyone think of Bono if he doesn't join the pod.
Katie, I got a question. I don't know if you know the answer. Did Scott Pye cut any laps today? Because I know we had his foot. He had a surgery on his foot, so he was a question mark. But I did see a video of him putting J-Dub's boot on, so I'm just curious. That's rather interesting.
Actually, speaking of suits, can I just mention something real quick? Did anyone, you may have not noticed watching Super 2, and I didn't really know this until after the fact, but Lockie Dalton was wearing the suit from Aaron Cameron last year, because it said Cameron number 3 on it. So he just borrowed his suit from last year. I don't know if anyone noticed it, but yeah.
No, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I think they just ran out of budget to get a new suit in time. So just take Aaron's from last year.
Oh, that's fair. It's the same livery anyway,
Yeah, pretty much.
You won't know.
No.
Back to the race 2 though. That was interesting. Obviously, the whole drama with Premiere losing their wheel. I think was it Ojeda that lost the wheel. That was strange. Like, did they just not put it on and just fell off? I think that's the case. But that caused chaos in pit lane. And then the restart though. The restart was nuts. With Anton, delaying the start to the very end pretty much, which caught everyone off guard. Brock Feeney and Ryan Wood went head to head. And that was cool. Nothing happened. Even though, the broadcast wants it to happen. I feel sorry for Ojeda as well. He didn't deserve that. And I want to point out the rookies, because we had quite a few this weekend. Before we get into race 3, we had Joe Stewart. We had who else? With Zach Bates, Jaden Ojeda. Even though technically he had one round last year.
Rylan Gray.
Rylan Gray, there you go.
Jackson
Who,
Walks.
by the way, has only been car racing for 5 years. So similar to Alvin Lindblad. So,
good old Alvin.
That's crazy. Considering he's in supercars and he's in Formula 1 with only 5 years experience.
Yep.
Pretty crazy.
Actually, I want to talk about them real quick. The rookies. Holy crap, did they provide some action? I've never been so excited to see a battle for 20th on the track. Like, no joke, they were going at it, man. Like, some of the action was... You alright?
Yeah.
You look scared. Like Katie wrote. No, some of the action for 18th, 19th, 20th position was insane. We saw in race 2, race 3. It was, when did Reynolds get taken out? Race 3. Opening 2 laps of race 3, Reynolds was backwards, and so was Cam Hill, just due with a battle of 7 cars that was started by Job Stewart going for a lunge, and they were just at it, man. Like, it was very entertaining to watch, and I've never been so excited to see a battle for 20th before, but hey, it's cool.
It was cool. We had about 10 cars or so, didn't we?
Yeah, man, they were going at it,
so many cars battling for that.
Oh,
that was mega, and they did a sensational job. Absolutely agree with you. Especially, like, even Zach Bates, credit to him. Obviously, he struggled with getting nudged all the time, but he did fairly well. Just seeing where he ended up in race 3, 13th. He was the second highest rookie, with Rylan Gray in 11th in race 3. So I'm excited to see how these rookies perform. At least we got a decent amount of rookies too. We haven't had that in a while. Of course, Rylan Gray, Super 2 champion, and Zach Bates also Super 2 champion from the previous year. So get to see who's better. And speaking of champions for Super 2, Declan Fraser has made a return to supercar racing, which I'm very happy to see. He had a okay weekend. His best result was 13th in race 2, but in terms of Premiere, considering the weekend they had, I don't think he did. He had a pretty decent weekend considering. But should we talk about race 3?
Yeah, man, that was wild. Was the only day race of the weekend, so everyone's knowledge of the races before were pretty irrelevant. We saw Feeney qualify 10th and then qualify first in the shootout. First ever driver, I'm pretty sure they said, to qualify 10th in his qualifying session and then to get pole in the shootout. So, unbelievable effort by Brock. Apparently he did make a mistake in qualifying that, had the caused I should say the 10th place finish. And then just as Bryce has written here, how to make supercars better than great. I'm going to add that part because it's already great. But how to make it even better is by adding water. And it didn't rain an awful lot amount, but it rained enough to throw a curveball. We had about 6 cars go on wet tires, which ended up being a wrong decision. And it was timed horribly by the safety car caused by James Golding's left rear wheel that decided, I don't want to be here anymore.
Now, no one got my joke, or you didn't get my joke earlier when I said it in the live. That is what you called a controlled tyre.
No, I got it.
Is also...
No, I did get it. It's from Canberra.
You didn't care. Okay, let's see how it is. It is. But what I also laughed at in the comment section on Facebook as well was everyone was wondering, why didn't Larko get a 15-second penalty for that? Do you know you get what they're referencing with him almost losing a rim in pit lane? So that caught me, but I love that. That was funny. But that was strange because that was 10 laps in his stint. So whatever caused that, I don't actually know. I haven't found out if there's any information. If anyone does know, let us know. But man, did that thing spark up?
There were a few rim failures this weekend. We had that one. There was another one. Who else had a failure?
Job Stewart, I think, had
that was a puncture.
Had one as well. The spindle.
Was that a spindle?
Loose. Yeah, because that one happened first, I reckon.
Earlier on. Weird. Because his happened the first lap he pitted. He literally did two laps.
It wasn't that long at all. See, that one is probably understandable because, it was just after the pit stop. But the fact that James Golding's happened 10 laps after, and another shocking one was Kai Allen.
That's the
now
one. Yeah,
his
sorry.
I don't think was his wasn't a wheel issue like James Golding. Something actually broke in that steering, in that wheel area. Don't know what happened. If it was the contact from Brock Feeney or he hit a curb too hard at some point. Maybe it was a combination of things, but yeah, definitely not what I wanted to see. Especially how strong Kai was all race, all
and
weekend.
Especially we were so close to the end. Like he was about to. I still think he was going to win.
He was only a second behind, I think.
Yeah, and
the
it was
gap
closing.
Was like nothing.
And he was closing. It was about half a second when it happened. Speaking of comebacks, I guess we kind of forgot to mention Brody Kostecki in race 2, who was on a alternate strategy to the rest of them. He pitted very late, went long in the second stint. Sorry, end of the second stint, and had about 13 laps, I want to say, to charge down about a 7-second gap to Anton. And almost, I think if he had one more lap, he would have won race 2. And he had the pace all weekend. He just kept making a few mistakes. Like, obviously got involved with the incident on the very last lap of race 3 with Azakaza, Aaron Cameron. And I'm going to say, I love it. Courtney's got a bloody brilliant suggestion for a nickname. I'm sticking by it. Which was heartbreaking. And then he got a 15-second penalty, like a Scott McLaughlin penalty did in Newcastle before he even finished the race. And then that put him down behind his teammate, actually. Rylan Gray beat him in and Brody spun bait. So Brody was a bit of a wrecking ball this weekend. He was just on a mission to hit everyone. But even still, the pace was unbelievable. I had him winning race 2, but obviously he was about half a second short. So yeah. I think that the biggest part to get from race 3 though was just the pace of Feeney was just insane. Like he just took off.
Oh, it was insane. He dominated Sunday. Besides from Kai Allen getting close to him, he dominated Sunday. By the way, Bryce, I'm just checking. I'm pretty sure I thought Rylan Gray spun Zach Bates around. Am I wrong about that? Probably. That's why I'm checking now. But, he was so fast all weekend. Friday, you did say yes, it's because of strategy, but he did have some decent pace. One thing to note as well, Blanchard Racing, they have an alliance with Triple Eight this year.
Yep.
They do share the setups, so that hopefully has helped them. It kind of has shown on track that it has helped them. So I'm excited to see what this partnership can lead to this season. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, let's talk about the drama. Speaking of spinning and whatnot, the dramatic restart in race 3 with Anton, Will Brown, and Brody.
Ooh, Daniel, you have no idea whose fault it is.
I still
doesn't know. That's wild. I haven't
watched the replays.
It was wild. Obviously, the track was wet and no one knew what was happening because it started to rain during the safety car period. So they're all a bit. What did Crompo used to say? Pioneers. No, Scafey said it. If you're first, you're a pioneer. Now he wasn't first. That was third, fourth, and fifth. But you could see Anton running a bit wide, and kind of give it half chance to Brody behind, and then I don't know where Will came from. He was a mile back, and then all of a sudden was just right there. So he ended up making contact with Brody, and then Brody hit Anton and took himself out of the race. So it was a bit unfortunate. One thing that did happen during that is it promoted Azakaza from 6th to 3rd. So that was pretty good.
That was cool.
Then still
until
lost
it ended, unfortunately.
But actually, you know who was my best performer? And no one's mentioned it, I just realised. Cam Waters. Cam Waters
oh my God. Where did he come from?
20th. He came from 20th. He was 13th by lap 2. So the first lap he gained 7 spots. And then finished 3rd, which was just ridiculous. So showed he had the pace and just didn't have any qualifying pace. So, yeah, I don't know. That was my biggest takeaway from that race.
Well, because of what happened Sunday and the fact that he went from 20th to fourth, or third, sorry,
Third.
was third. Now they're leading the team's championship heading into Albert Park, which I was not expecting at all from the weekend.
No.
Because not in terms of predictions, I actually predicted them to do well, but based off their performance this weekend, you wouldn't have thought that was the case. And especially when they fumbled Thomas Randall's strategy in race 3 as well. He was the last car to pit, and it obviously didn't work out for him. Obviously, I know they were waiting for wets, but that didn't work out.
No.
But question is, will Thomas Randall win a race? I hope so. We hope we see it soon, but it depends on if that car and team can get the job done.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
But, yeah. One thing I want to point out as well, Will Brown, he was up and down this weekend. He drove as well as he did. It was just like last year. Race 1, he finished 7th. Race 2, AAA actually had a horrible Saturday night. Period. They both had 15-second penalties.
Yeah.
Brock Feeney was due to contact with, I think, Aaron Cameron or James Golding. No, sorry, James Golding, which is fair enough. But Will Brown only got it because he spun the wheels, which, again, is part of regulations. But it was only for such a little while. But unfortunately, the reason I'm pointing this out is because that 15th place finish he had here doesn't show how good he drove Saturday night. He was fighting for the top 6 at one point before that, and he actually went from, I think, 12th or something to 6th, which we've seen throughout last year that he had terrible qualies, but he could race better than anyone. Sunday, I feel sorry for him because he qualified really well. He was in the 10, and I said in a group chat that he finally remembered how to drive in quali. Unfortunately, he finished 18th due to the spin that he got from Kostecki.
Well, not only
is caused by Will Brown, but he also got a 15-second penalty on Sunday.
I was going to say, not only did he get taken out in a spin that he caused, which then led to a 15-second penalty. So he lost like 15 seconds in the crash and then had a 15-second penalty. Bono has joined our chat, and I shouted out his name because we mentioned you earlier. Well, I did, being the weatherman on the ground yesterday. And he's just written in, and we'll actually talk about this next because I did want to talk about it, so thank you, Bono. Our opinion on the Toyota, because he said that out of turn 1, which is where he was sitting, being a weatherman, that they were exiting the corner and accelerating much earlier than everybody else because of their straight line speed. And Gerard has joined the chat on YouTube and said the Toyota's only issue at the moment is the engine. And I said this during the broadcast where you could tell, especially, I know Brody got a great run, but there was a part of the race 3, I want to say, where Brody passed Chaz down the main straight and just left him for dust. Now, he did get an unbelievable run out of the last corner and took a wider line to get a straighter exit, but he just drove past him straight away, and Chaz had nothing into turn 1, nothing into turn 2. They were on similar strategies, I think, and he couldn't do a thing. So that was disappointing. But you could also see it from race 2, where Ryan Wood was in the top 6, or I think it was about 6th to 8th, somewhere in there. I just didn't want to say 6, 7. And then fell back down to, I think, 9th in the end of the race, purely just based on engine. Like, he had no pace, compared to everyone else.
Yeah.
But even in the qualifying sessions, every time Chaz or Woody or even Heimgartner had a really good first sector, it would just and second sector, it would just demolish. It would just get destroyed in sector 3, and they just lose all the time. So it sucks, but hopefully that's not an easy fix, but it's easier than a parity issue, I would imagine, because you have to do less tests regarding that, and they can find a few extra horsepower, because at the Grand Prix, you're going to need it.
You're going to need it. Yeah. You're going to need it.
You're going to need it.
Absolutely. I want to drift towards, we spoke about it during the watch long, but the TV broadcast and not only the graphics, but the brand new commentary lineup. Let's start off with the commentary lineup first.
Bear in mind,
the graphics are questionable.
We've already been live for 54 minutes, so this is going to be another 54 minutes. Boy, oh boy,
this segment will be 54 minutes.
Where do we begin?
Let's start off with the commentary, I reckon. All right, let's start off with the TV crew. Obviously, it's the first weekend we've heard Nail On with Tanda in the commentary box, with Courtney and Frosty each day, which I thought that was quite cool to have all three of them together. And then we had Jess Yates and then Frosty and JC in the pit lane with Molly Taylor and Rihanna Korean and Mark Larkham. So, Alex, why don't I'll let you go first with your initial thoughts.
Well, what I first want to say is that it's only round one. Let these people develop into their roles. That's all I'm going to say. And I'm not going to say they're going to be good, like better than Crompo and Scafey were. But just give them a chance, because everyone on Facebook was very strong opinionated. Anyway. I think Tanda was great. I'm not the biggest fan of... Like, if you had to ask me Chad Nailon, Nolte, or Crail, I wouldn't put Chad Nailon. I think he's better as a reporter than a commentator, personally. I think he's really good at being a reporter. But I would have Nolte as my number one option, 100%. And then probably Crail second, and then Chad would be my third option. Now, we heard Nolte during the support categories. I found it weird. JC and Winterbottom were the third commentator, which we've never had before, which you pointed out you quite liked. However, it was very jokey, especially with JC, as Bryce has written here. He was, I can't say that part, but he was very happy about his old team. Which is fair because they were unbelievably successful at Blanchard Racing without him, as Daniel's finally seen the comment. So I think that was a bit interesting. James Corney did a pretty good job. You could see he was quite quiet during the start of the weekend and over time got a bit more comfortable. Mark Winterbottom was pretty decent. I thought he was pretty good. I actually preferred him as that third commentator than JC. Daniel, I've been ranting on, so your turn.
I agree. JC was a bit too jokey, I do admit, but I want to see where he leads. Definitely have him as a pit lane reporter. I didn't like how he was in pit lane was pretty good. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Craig Lowndes in the commentary booth instead of JC. That's something I would love to see.
Good shout.
Because we haven't seen him in the Supercars broadcast, so he would be a good addition. Because I do love the three commentators. I love that, and as Bryce mentioned earlier, Matt White also was in the broadcast.
I never heard him.
I know he's with Channel 7. What do you mean you've never heard him?
No, I never heard him this weekend. No, this weekend.
Oh.
I didn't hear him once.
Mostly towards, not during the racing itself, but during like quiet periods. There were certain points of time. I was cooking dinner one night, the other night, and next minute I hear his voice. And I was like, what? And I've teleported back to 2010, 2014. So there you go. So that was nice. And he doesn't age, honestly.
No, I heard his interview.
No,
I heard his interview with Piastri.
He was there Saturday, though, Bryce. He was there Saturday, because I remember, he did that with Oscar as well.
Yeah.
But, what am I saying? Commentary, yeah. So I think they all did a good job considering. Chad Nailon, I quite like Chad. I have a lot of respect for him. I think he's fantastic as at reporting. I think give him some more time in the commentary booth, though. But I do have to pick Nolte. He is my favourite out of the three. Definitely, I agree with you. Mm-hmm. For sure. And, we hear him all the time in the high-tech or Super Series and a lot of speedways across Australia. He's just got a really good talent for it. But yeah, maybe have Craig Lowndes in it. That would be a nice addition to it. I think that will go really well because, of course, Lowndes commentates the 86 series and whatnot here and there every now and again.
Actually, this week he did.
Last season he did. Oh, Carrera Cup, didn't he? No,
yeah,
he didn't
Carrera
this
Cup.
weekend.
No, Winterbottom did 86s, and Courtney did the Super 2. I don't know. Oh, Super Utes was what's his name? Oh my god, having a blank. The ex Super Ute driver.
Alex tries to.
You know it. Yeah, Dantas. Yeah, Dantas.
Yeah,
there you go. Because Courtney loves.
He's really good.
Craig Dantas.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, Craig's always
I like
good.
him a lot.
He's really down to earth too when you chat to him.
Quick shout out to Craig for another off-track reason as my camera goes blurry. When we were coming home from Perth, Daniel unfortunately wasn't with us, but Ivan and I bumped into him while checking in for our flight. We were on the same flight back to Adelaide, and he offered, couldn't get it done unfortunately because Qantas are a bit strict with their rules, but he offered to try and get us into the lounge. So he went up to the lounge desk and was like, "Hey, do I have any free passes? I've got all my credit cards here. What can I do for these boys?" And unfortunately, only one of us could go in, so we both said no. But it was nice. It was a nice. I said that to Ivan. I said, "You go in for half an hour. I'll go in for half an hour." He was like, "No, all good." So yeah, no, quick shout out to Craig Jontas. He is an unbelievably great guy.
Because Ivan's raced with his brother as well, didn't he?
Yeah, Troy, I think.
As well. So a great bunch of people. I've only met Craig a couple times, and he's always so welcoming.
Yeah, he's nice.
That's what I want to say.
But no, I think overall, they did okay, but there's room to improve.
I really will see it as the year progresses.
One thing I really miss, and I think I'm going to get a lot of feedback in the comments for this, was I always used to look forward to Neil Crompton's first line of the year. If you go watch back supercar highlights from like the whole year's highlights in the first race and the first takeoff off the grid for the year, that's always the highlight, I think, of seeing the first race of the year. Just what line is Crompo going to produce? And to hear Chad Nailon do it, I was like, It
didn't hit the same.
It didn't. I didn't even hear. I don't think he even had a line, to be honest. I think he just said we're back or something. I'm like, that was pretty dull.
Yeah, I can't remember.
To be honest, actually, Mum was on mute because I couldn't have it. I couldn't have it on. I couldn't have my broadcast on for copyright. But I think in this chat here with TikTok and our fans or viewers, I should say, we're all pretty similar on our thoughts and opinions with it. But I tell you what, some people on Facebook, holy crap, they were just ruthless.
They take it too far.
They're ruthless, man.
They have no. Nah, definitely. They're all in with their comments. This is probably the worst I've seen this weekend.
It was,
and it's not just commentators. To the point of it got to a point where someone was wondering why is Jess Yates wearing that dress. Like, what's that got to do with anything to do with vehicles with wheels and engines?
No,
that's not what comes to mind when I think of supercars. So I think that was a bunch of fans that took it a bit too far there.
It was insane.
Speaking of things that went a little too far, let's talk about all the graphics and their glitches that happened way too quickly.
Where do we begin? Which one? All right, put in your comments in the TikToks and YouTube. Hey, what's happened? Did I miss me?
No, I'm just wheel windscreen.
Yeah, what's your favorite? I think wheel windscreen's going to be the best. So if you don't know, we'll flash up a little, Daniel, if you want, flash up a little thing to show what we're talking about. I think there was. What were they trying to even show? I didn't even know what they were trying to show. Was it just the fact that Courtney was on screen? Were they trying to bring up his name?
Actually, I'll get it up right now. So
I don't know what they were trying to do.
It was meant to say James Courtney, obviously, as a host or something, but instead, and thanks to Apex Hunters United, it's Will Windscreen. And by the way, after the watch along yesterday, when I watched that, I legit was laughing for 5 minutes straight. Purely, not just because of Will Windscreen, but Scott Pye's reaction.
It was funny.
I'd lost it. But One thing I want to point out is Will Windscreen sounds like a Disney Pixar Cars character.
Yeah, it sounds like he should be in Cars 3 or Cars 4, whatever,
so,
the new one.
Obviously, Frosty was in Cars 2. Is James Courtney going to be in Cars 4?
Is that his new nickname?
As Will Windscreen.
Will Windscreen.
Maybe.
You know what they should do?
There were quite a few glitches.
Although it probably won't work because of Supercar glitches, but they should have like a kids version, like F1 do, and then just make nicknames up. So when Will Davison comes in the Enduro, you can call him Will Windscreen. There you go. Got Will Davison in a nickname. There was a few. So they're coming through.
Supercars will elevate.
They
will never be able to achieve what F1's doing.
They can't recover that. There's a few comments coming in. Fluttering of comments. So the ones Bono's put in the names on the side on Friday was weird. Was that was broadcasted practice 1? I think.
I'm just trying to remember now.
I don't think it was broadcasted. I think there was a session before. I don't know. I can't remember. But they had the abbreviations.
There was one in testing that had everyone's names completely wrong.
That's probably what it was.
Mostert was is that the one you're talking about? Where Mostert was in an SCT logistics car?
Yeah, so it was all broken. Then the abbreviated letters for everyone's name was just completely off.
Well, Bailey Hall in Super 2, he had HAB as his abbreviation.
I think what they were trying to do was first 2 letters started their last name, and then the third letter was the first name initial. But it just looked like crap. It didn't work.
It didn't work.
A couple. I can't get the screenshots up, but there are some funny ones, man.
Like drive the last name. Everyone driving for
that is the worst one. No, that is the worst one. So they were trying to show. Yeah, they were trying. I got the screenshot up here. So. No, sorry. No, the Penrite one was race 2. At the end of race 3, they wanted to show
race 3. Yeah,
they wanted to show off the driver standings. I don't even know where to begin with this. There are so many errors on here; it's unbelievable. For starters, there are 2 heads on the part where they show 1 head. Everyone's name is driver last name. They have Mobile 1 TM Middies Racing as the team description. Everyone had 0 points. And to top it off, it said Super 2 Series at the top. It's a complete mess. And they literally had it on screen for about 2 or 3 seconds. And then like, oh shit. And then removed it. And then Chad Naylor, credit to him, he was very professional about it. Which actually one part of the commentary was good. That whenever they saw those fuck-ups, they were like... okay, just move on. They didn't mention it at all, and which is good.
And I guess they praised the fact that they had NatSoft.
Yeah, literally
to at least read from.
Literally. So there was a fair few. Those were the 2 outs. Actually, those were the best ones.
Courtney, you're actually wrong because not only did he get a P1 and P2, he also got a P5 in that race. Apparently,
but also everyone was driver number 19.
So technically he dominated the field by being everyone.
Yeah.
There you go. That was something. I'm still laughing at Will Windscreen. That's going to just crack me up.
Will Windscreen.
But definitely first, I know the new graphics. I know we're all saying they're going to glitch. They didn't glitch this bad for the 12 hour. How come they glitched so badly this weekend?
Oh, also
one more. The worst I've ever seen their glitches.
One more thing, which we only kind of worked out during halfway through race 3 was the feed. They must have got a lot of feedback. At the start of the weekend, they had the sponsor name, or I guess that technically is their team name because they butcher those. Their team logo, which is essentially their sponsor, next to their abbreviated name, and everyone, especially after race 2 on Facebook, hated it. And you noticed in race 3 that they had the manufacturer color with their driver number next to their name for the most part of the race, which I prefer. So they did do one thing right.
It was so much better. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree, definitely. Is there another point you're adding?
No, that's it.
Okay. Overall, though, the graphics, what they're going for is cool.
It looks cool.
I like I said it in the 12 hour. They did a really good job with the looks of it. It just needs to function.
Execution.
And unfortunately, it didn't function very well. Not even the shootout times appeared. Sometimes the replay graphic would appear as well. One thing Bryce pointed out during the watch-alongs as well, and I completely agree, is the lack of the live box that we have during replays. You know, last year we had a small box in the corner to show the live broadcast while we're seeing replays, because these replays went for a while.
Yeah, Bryce was very animated about
obviously, yeah, and rightfully so. And one thing he mentioned here too is the BP Ultimate Cooldown cupboard, which was so funny to watch, especially race 3. No, was it race 2? Sorry, where Anton and Brody were together. That was funny to watch.
Do you reckon they watched our first 4 episodes and they had the idea of the BP Ultimate Cooldown Room and they couldn't work out the part after BP Ultimate and they watched our video and then thought...
Oh, they couldn't copy our title, could they?
They did.
Yeah,
BP
so they
Ultimate Cooldown Room. No, we said cupboard.
That's right.
Also,
but I think it's secretly called that.
I think there was another part. There was another touch up with the visual graphics, which was during all the qualifying and shootouts. You didn't know what the plus minus was. You saw it went green, purple, or yellow, but I didn't know by how much.
Yeah, but you didn't see the delta.
No, I had no idea by how much, which sucked.
No, that's a good point. We just saw if it's green or not. That's a good point.
Yeah, someone mentioned it
really good point.
Somewhere. I can't remember where, but yeah, it was disappointing to not know how far off. Because there was a point where Kai Allen's shootout lap was literally 0.005 of a second behind Feeney. And we had no idea.
Yeah, and we didn't know that till the end.
Yeah. And even Golding's lap. Golding was a purple first sector. And we're like, oh my God, he's on. No idea by how much. Green second sector. Cool, he's in this. And then it was 3/10 off in the last sector. I'm like, well, all right, cool. So that was disappointing. Also,
yeah, it's just hopefully, yeah.
I think they fixed it, but there was a part in, I want to say, qualifying for race 2, the P next to the name for indicating if they were in the pit lane, that was off. It was bad. They were showing people were in the pit lane, like half the grid, when they were all doing quality laps at the end.
Oh, I remember even in the race, because I thought that someone pitted.
Rylan Gray.
Actually the other team. It was teammate.
Yeah, no, it was you said Kostecki. You said Kostecki and it was Gray. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
In fairness, to be honest, I kept saying Brock Feeney instead of Will Brown.
Those AAA and Double A look way too similar.
No, it was the other way around. Yeah, because in the front you can easily tell what it is, but on the side their door numbers. Bring it back. The numbers on the windows were so damn small, especially 888. It looked like double weight.
It was a bit
on the broadcast.
It was a bit hard to tell.
The way I had, because we were doing watch-alongs, I had the KO on half my laptop screne, so it was even smaller.
Hey, so, I think race 2 I watched on my phone.
Damn Windows. Yeah, well, that's even worse. That's what I mean. If we're a triple number, you kind of want it to be a bit larger than that.
I thought there was a rule. I think they did it last year where you had to have a distinct something, whether one driver was in one car or the other. Now, Penwright, I don't know if anyone's noticed. I have OCD with little things. But Kai Allen, I'm pretty sure, has a white grille, and Payne has a gold grille. Last year was red and gold. The Red Bull cars are identical. They're identical. So I think they need to change something up.
Even the names on the doors were mandatory at one point. I don't know where that went. I guess that went.
No, that went with Gen 3. No, that went with Gen 3 because the window's too small.
Yeah, but they didn't make it mandatory. I thought they made it mandatory to have those. No, that's what I'm referring to. To have the names on the
above the door. Oh, everyone has them except for Brad Jones Racing.
They have, because apparently New Balance takes up all that space.
New Balance,
even though it's just
New
a little
Balance
MB,
is,
and they've got that whole entire spot.
Yep.
One thing actually I don't like about the Walkinshaw cars is their names on that part there, because it's not
straight.
It's not centered.
No, but
Yeah,
also
it's not straight. There you go.
It's not in line with the panel of the door, but also they got 4 sponsors that are there next to their names, and they're all straight as well. It looks like a ladder.
Oh,
it looks weird.
Bryce pointed out about hamburger camps. That reminds me.
Oh.
What did they do to the onboard cameras this weekend?
Well, they made them
the 4K footage and
they made
TV
them
broadcast
4K.
was sensational. But then you got the onboards, and we were too close to everyone's faces. I actually felt Matt Payne breathing on me.
And
it was really weird.
You said, I think you did a funny message in our group chat where you said you were getting whiplash from whenever they went over the curbs. It was pretty violent, I will admit.
I was getting whiplash from the vibrations of the curbs. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, I do admit.
Yeah,
but I think that
was
also,
bad.
I don't think it was 4K until Saturday, by the way. Because I was watching on the broadcast, and it didn't say 4K on my screen until Saturday, I don't think. Unless I was just on a different TV. But
well, one thing about being 4K is
you need
KO, by the way. Fun fact, if you are on your phones, right, on your mobile data, and you go to low data mode option, do you know how they solve the fact that you don't use your data? Simple. You go to click your stream. Oh, you need Wi-Fi. It doesn't give you an option to run 280p or 360p or anything. You either have full-on HD or turn on your Wi-Fi.
Yep.
That's my rant.
No, it's
and
true.
you pay $45 for that. You pay $45 just, to get told to do Wi-Fi. Anyway, I wish they just had, like, I'm happy that the camera quality did look good.
Yeah, it looked
better. But the onboard cameras, they should have just left how they were compared to with last year.
Well, you wouldn't have had
the fisheye effect was really bad on the Toyotas.
I think whatever the cameras they've put in, they've got a 360 effect to it. Because they were changing.
Which doesn't really work.
No, I didn't mind that part.
Yeah, it's true, but
because
I think
Chad Nayland did mention it was a good point he mentioned where you can really feel how claustrophobic these cars are now, and they've done a good job because you're basically a passenger.
That's true.
And I suppose in that regard, there, if you think about it, then they've done okay. But yeah, some of the angles will. I think that the Toyotas weren't too bad, but I think the Chevs were the worst angles.
Yeah, I think it's more of the angles then that they got to adjust. Like a bit further back for some of them, I reckon. But I do like the fact that we were like literally watching the side of them. I think that was cool because we used to have that last time. But their audio too, that was Saturday or Friday was way too loud on board. But then the other day you couldn't hear it at all. So I guess it's just a bit of a learning thing here. Courtney says, I've taken the Chat GBT interlude this week. I think this one is even better than Alvin. Oh, God. Let's have a look at Instagram. I'm sure she sent it over there. I've actually left the live on TikTok because I forgot when you scroll, you go to someone else's live.
Oh.
But let's start closing off the pod for today.
Yeah.
By going through the team standings heading into Albert Park, which is, of course, in 2 weeks. Which also means as well that the Australian Grand Prix is not that far away, which is cool.
Nope.
So having a look at let's look at the top 10 for the drivers' standings, which is, of course, technically the Sprint Cup at this point. So the top 10 obviously progressed through after the Enduros. So here's how the 10 stands now. Brock Feeney is currently in the lead with ahead of Matt Payne, then Cam Waters. And then we've got Anton Brody, Ryan Wood, Jack LeBrock, David Reynolds, Cameron Hill, and Thomas Randall. For the teams, like I said before, Tickford Racing are currently leading at the moment, which was a surprise for all of us. Grove Racing, Penrite Racing, are second place, which is well deserved. It would have been a lot more if Kai Allen finished where he did yesterday. Then we got Triple Eight. Courtney, it's on its way, Harker. I'm looking forward to it. Then Team 18, Dick DJR, Blanchard Racing in 6th place position. So not 7th, 6th. So my apologies. Then we've got Matt Stone Racing, Walkinshaw, Brad Jones Racing, Premier Erebus, Macaulay Jones, and SET missed the objective racing.
Yep.
There you go. That's your team. So overall, pretty good weekend. Glad Supercars is back. Excited to see what the rest of the year has in store for us, Alex. But thanks everyone who has tuned in, of course. If you're watching this as a playback or on Spotify, we of course film this live Monday nights. So if you do want to be part of this podcast and join our lives and answer these questions, put a question in, as Bryce says last week, towards the end we always sort of lose our professionalism, which is very valid. It is very true. But yeah, join the pod by joining the lives and putting in a question, and we will answer them during our live as we have tonight. But Alex, any final thoughts?
Yeah, my girlfriend sent a gift to us, so thank you for that.
Oh, thank you, Jordan.
Appreciate that. No, it was a great weekend overall. Enjoyed all the action on track and some off track. And I'm so keen for Grand Prix weekend. Like having Supercars and F1 at the same place. It's just bring it on. If Ferrari's good and Supercars is just action packed, I'm satisfied. I'm very satisfied, but I can only hold on to one of those things, not two. But yeah, yep. No, thank you. I want to thank everyone for joining our pods and lives, especially. Honestly, the last 4 days has been so much fun. Daniel and I have so enjoyed it, and 3 days of crapping myself with getting it working the days before was so worth it. I know the hashtag blame Alex is flowing. Literally. I know the hashtag blame Alex runs around the stream and also my house, but it was worth it. So I am very, very happy with the little community of people we've got in our audience, and I want to thank each and every one of you for joining. There were some people who had literally been in here all weekend, like watched all 4 of our streams.
It's been unreal.
The 3 races and tonight. Some of them were even at the track. Like, come on, like we got some really special people in here. So I really want to thank every single one of you, and you motivate the crap out of us to continue doing more. That was very heartwarming.
Well said, Alex.
That was very hard.
That was very heartwarming. That was well put. I don't need to mention anything else other than I completely agree with what Alex said. You know, it's actually been an incredible weekend. Obviously,
been such a full weekend of 4 days. You went through our data limit. Yep, that's very true.
Oh, that's fun. Don't worry, Georgia. I did not do that.
No, that is very true.
But no. In all seriousness, though, it has been phenomenal all weekend. You know, it's from Friday, race 1. We didn't know how these watch-alongs were going to go. Didn't know who was going to watch it. But come Sunday, we had a group of, what am I saying? Wheel windscreen. The group, same group of people. There we go. Don't mention it, Bryce.
I tell you what, we even had people, we had about 80 people watch our test. I just clicked live to make sure it was working, and 10 people joined within 10 seconds. I'm like, hi. This is not planned.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. So technically it's been 5 days.
I actually forgot about that.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. No, it's been wild. And you don't normally see a podcast that is live these days. Normally it's either behind a paywall or English is second language. You wouldn't tell me about it. But no, it's really cool. I'm really grateful for everyone that has joined over the last few days and this year so far. It's been a really cool year, and we've only just started getting racing underway now. So I'm keen for more watch-alongs this season. And thanks to everyone new that joined along throughout the weekend too. It's been really cool. We've got a lot of new followers, new subscribers. So hopefully we can see you guys more as we progress throughout the season. Alex, I'm going to finish talking and wrap this up before I just make a fool out of myself in terms of English. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Alex, thanks for all your hard work this past week, getting everything done. And of course, going through and sacrificing your internet. It's been an honor. And we'll see you next week, of course, for our next episode of the Cooldown Room Pod. Mate, the Cunny, quickly, we did briefly mention it already. We actually had it earlier in the session. The Supras, we liked them. Tricky start, but Sunday was quite rewarding. Hopefully we see more success for them as the year progresses.
Yes, and Courtney said check Instagram.
Alex.
We're going to do that after. Let's just end.
We'll do.
We'll end the show.
We're going to end. Yeah, we'll end it. So thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. And if you're watching on Spotify or listening on Spotify and watching on YouTube, be sure to hit the follow button as well and make sure that notification bell is turned on. And be sure to check out our social media to stay up to date with all the latest posts and to be part of our live podcasts. That's all from me, and that's all from Alex. And we'll see you next week. Bye for now.
Ciao.